Hello listeners, I'm your host, Nova Kunzman, and welcome to TechTalk at CCTI. In this episode, we're taking a deeper look into CCTI's very own carpentry. Today, we're going to find out what it means to be a carpenter and all the work that goes into it. We have an exclusive interview with the carpentry instructor, Mr. Hazelton, interviews with carpentry students, and much more in store for today's episode. But before we get started, let's go to the announcements.
Hello listeners, it's Samara with the announcements. During the month of April, we have multiple things happening here at CCTI. We start Easter break on the 6th and return on the 11th. Seniors have to take their written NOCTI on the 20th. Seniors in Precision Machine take NIMS, while every other technical area takes the NOCTIs. Culinary seniors have to take their CBR certification on April 18th.
Hello, it's Nicole Carino with the weather. This month's weather will mostly be filled with showers while being in the 60s and even reaching the 70s. I guess that's why it's called April showers.
Hey guys, I have a question.
What's the question, Nova?
So, we can all agree that all food can be put into 5 categories, right? Sandwich, salad, soup, ravioli, or like ingredients of one of those above. What do you guys think of that?
What about taco?
We'll get into the taco later. I have that as a separate subcategory question. What do we think of those ones, though? As like sandwich, salad, soup, ravioli, or ingredients? What do we think of those categories? Do we agree?
I think it's making me hungry.
You hungry?
Hungry?
We did pick a very food-heavy question, and it just gets more and more into food.
And it's gonna make me hungry at 8:47 at night.
Yeah. So
I actually have food with me right now.
I'm jealous. All my food's downstairs, but I'm gonna get food after we record this.
Okay.
So do we all agree with these categories? And we'll get into the taco later with another question, but do we all agree those categories?
Yes.
So now, the real questions we have, I have a couple sub-questions I prepared, where it's just, do these certain foods go into these certain categories? The first one I have is, does cereal fit in as a soup? I'm gonna say yes. I think it does.
Yes.
Because it's a broth with chunks in it. That's what soup is. So, cereal. That's what cereal is then. So I think that
milk.
I'm like now hating the visual because I'm just thinking of milk with a bunch of like chunks of meat in it. It's like it's like a thing I don't want to imagine, but it's like the only thing I can think of now. Because like just thinking of cereal soup.
It's like that one commercial with chunky milk.
Oh my god. Yeah. I hate that. So we're all agreeing cereal is a soup.
Yes.
So the next question I have, which technically can also go into another question I have, but we'll get to it. Are Uncrustables a ravioli?
I'd say it's a mix between a sandwich and a ravioli.
But a sandwich is 2 different pieces of bread that aren't closed. Ravioli is like it's fully enclosed. Which
usually when you think of a ravioli, it has like a kind of like weird texture outside, but an Uncrustable is bread. So would it be a sandwich ravioli or would it just be ravioli?
Huh.
Hazel is correct right there.
That is correct. I'm still just gonna go with Uncrustable is a ravioli in my opinion. And ignoring your logic now. Because like as I think about this, I just see all things that are like fully enclosed is just a ravioli, which goes into like, I was asked earlier about this question. So a chicken nugget could be considered a ravioli because it's breaded, it's like fully breaded all around. If you bite into it, does that change its category then?
But a chicken nugget doesn't have the little like forked outside.
Does it have to be a ravioli? I'm imagining a ravioli is just something, it's like just something enclosed
like a
in
burrito?
A burrito?
Is a burrito its own category, or is it a ravioli?
Is it?
Oh, this is... So now, okay. Is a burrito its own category now?
I mean, yes, because a burrito and a taco are basically the different things.
Yeah, tacos when it's open on one side. Burritos when it's open on both sides, but not the top and bottom.
Huh.
I'm confused. This is racking my brain.
This was a hard question to do after all of this week. It's been a crazy week. So okay, I guess we're now considering burrito. We're adding burrito to the categories.
Yes.
So okay, I'm gonna skip a question and we're gonna go back to it because I know you guys can see what question I'm talking about. So going into, we just talked about tacos. Is a hot dog a taco or is a taco a hot dog? I believe hot dogs do not deserve their own category.
Hot dogs definitely do not deserve their own category. I will just say that red-handed. They do not.
Why do you both think that?
Because like
I want to know your reason.
hot dogs, I'm not gonna lie, kind of gross in my opinion. I don't like them. Tacos are just way more superior, and I feel like you can just call more things tacos. Like, you don't, like, I know there's this, like, one company on like, that 19, they make a little gummy taco, which is just a bunch of different types of gummies and something that looks like a gummy tortilla. That's, like, a taco. You don't, like, you can, like, put stuff in other things, and then it's, boom, it's a taco immediately. You don't do that with hot dogs.
What if you make a taco out of, like, hot dog bread, though?
Like, put a bunch of taco stuff in like, a bun?
Yes.
In my opinion, that still would be a taco.
But then would you agree that if you break the bottom, it becomes a sandwich?
If you break the bottom, it's a sandwich. If it's, like, not one just giant piece of, like, thing, like, because, you know, taco is just one big, hard, like, I guess it doesn't have to be hard. Like, I'm imagining, like, a hard shell taco.
Yes.
Like, that, there you go. That's, like, that is what I'm imagining is, like, the category for it. If it's like that, then it's taco. But if you break it in half, then it kind of has to be a sandwich.
But what about, like, quesadillas? Would those be, like, considered a ravioli, or would they be considered something else?
I feel like we weren't given enough categories.
No, I'm pretty sure there's many categories.
Yeah,
but I feel like those were the main ones.
Those are the main ones you hear about. I know, like, well, I was given this question, so I just kind of, like, grabbed it and was, like, adding sub-questions to it. Because we getting into TechTalk lore, we just have, like, a list of questions we could ask. And I was just like, this could be a funny one we could ask. And I know who wrote this question. So...
Was it you?
No, I didn't write... I don't think I wrote any of the questions besides last episode's question, which was the one I didn't even get to be in, which was the colors.
Yes.
Where I did all my silly little editing with it. I thought it was funny. You should all go check out the last episode if you have not seen it. I did some pretty funny editing in that because they left me out of a conversation we've been having for about 2 years now, and I got my karma with it.
With your camera holder, Basil ad.
Yes, thank you, Basil, for taking my photo. It was hilarious. So, okay, back onto the topic, because we get very sidetracked so easily in these discussions. I feel like we just gotta go on to the last question that we wrote, which I don't even fully know how to go about this. Is cat soup?
Yes. Well,
Automatically agreed. No one's
You
gonna
wanna
get
know
this.
You want to know the most famous cat soup?
What's the most famous cat soup?
The name is Jumbo.
Jumbo is the famous of the cats of the soups.
Very famous cats of the soups. Well then, okay. So if we're saying cats are soup, what is dog?
Yes. Dog is log.
But that's not a food. You can't eat a log. Are you telling me
Dog is burrito.
dog is burrito?
Dog is burrito.
There are a lot of videos online. If I can find one, I'll put it on screen of people like rolling their dogs up in like burrito blankets. I want to be one of those dogs. in a
Would you
burrito
call a
blanket.
wiener dog a taco?
Oh shoot! You kind of have to call it a taco because we're saying hot dog's not its own category, so that means it has to be a taco.
It's a taco dog.
Wiener dogs are now officially the taco dog.
The taco dog.
So now whenever you see on Halloween wiener dogs in a hot dog costume, you now have to go up to the owner and be like, no, that's a taco dog. Get the most concerned glances as you're like trick-or-treating. I don't know if you guys still do that. I do it still. But
I do.
just walking around Palmerton, for example, just being like, hey, I love your dog's taco costume. It's a hot dog. Nope. It's a taco now. Why is this something I have to like do now? I have to find someone dressing up their dog as a hot dog.
I want to go up to somebody who's dressed up as a cat costume and be like, nice soup.
Nice soup.
So would you call a black cat the void soup?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. Do we have to give all animals a category now?
I guess.
Can we go on to moths? Because I'm like obsessed with moths right now because I just bought that new onesie. For context, I was on Amazon looking for onesies and I found this adorable Mothman onesie. And I bought it and it's coming soon. But I'll just say it's coming soon. And now
Coming soon to a store near you.
coming soon to my house. But now like all of my like I think it's all my Discord stuff right now is just Mothman. Like my profile picture on a couple servers, I have myself as secretly Mothman. My status, I think, is Mothman onesie right now. Yeah.
Your profile picture in normal chat is a Mothman.
Yeah, I'll put my profile picture right now on screen, if I remember. So okay, I feel like we got so off topic because now we're just talking about what animals go into food tag. We barely talked about
I just thought of something though.
What'd you think of?
Do you know how like dumplings, they're like a little bit chunky?
Oh my
Would that be chunky animals dumplings?
Would dumpling be a category?
Are dumplings? Would that go into ravioli? Would that be a subcategory of ravioli? Hold on, wait.
Dumplings are closed and raviolis are closed.
Do we need subcategories?
Can I just say, I'm sorry if Crowley gets picked up at all. She's being a nutball. She's running around my room and being Spider-Man. Also, Nova, we forgot to introduce Sunny as our special guest.
Hey, we have Sunny as our special guest. Yeah, I kind of like just went into the question and then was like, I'll just mention it at the end. I'll be like, oh, and also thank you, Sunny, for joining us. But here we are now. I'm not cutting this part out either. This will be staying in the episode.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Sunny, for joining us today. And if you would like more Tech Talk at CCTI content, please check out our Instagram, TechTalk at CCTI, TECHTALK_ATCCTI. Tell us what you thought about our conversation. I guess it was about food. Tell us what you thought about it. If you disagree, agree, in the comments or on our Instagram. Now let's get on to the interviews. And here we have Mr. Hazelton with Carpentry. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
That's awesome. Alrighty. So what is Carpentry?
Carpentry is a spot for people to come and learn, how to build houses and build furniture and, anything from homes to commercial buildings to fine woodworking, trim work and stuff. So it's a fun place to show your abilities.
What is your background in the field?
My background is I've been doing it for over 30 years. I started when I was a young kid with my uncle doing roofs, and I've done everything from masonry to framing to roofs to siding to full interior finishes. So I've done a lot.
What is a day like in your classroom?
A day in our classroom is in the morning we usually do a little bit of theory on what's going on for the day, what lesson we're on, and then we're out in the tech area most of the time. So it's just a little bit in the theory room. We try not to spend too much time in there because we all learn by hands-on. So I'd rather stay out there and show the kids hands-on versus, being in the classroom. And then we're out in the tech area pretty much all day, just learning different skills, and students are working on their project or the modular home projects.
So anyone who passes by Carpentry happens to see you guys are building a house right now. Can you update us on that progress?
Yep, so we only have the first half of the modular built. We're about maybe halfway done with it. The electrical's done in it. The plumbers are getting ready to finish up the bathroom in there to put the finish or the rough plumbing in, and then we're going to start insulating it and putting the finishing touches on it for the first half.
Awesome. So coming out of Carpentry, what certifications do your students leave with?
They'll leave with OSHA 10 and OSHA 30, and that's really good for, especially if they want to go into union, they need OSHA 10 and OSHA 30. They get a certificate in the IRC, which is the codes for building codes, so we'll have that certificate. And there's one more, ladder safety. We teach ladder and scaffolding safety, and they get a certificate when they're done with that.
What employment opportunities can come from being in Carpentry?
Anything from finished work to framing to roofing to siding, installing windows, cabinet making, furniture making. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for kids, or students, I should say.
And lastly, what previous students work in the field?
We have a handful of them. We got John Stefaniak, Kevin Medea, Tegan Green. They're the only ones I can think off the top of my head, but I know there's a few other ones out there still in the field that are doing it.
All right. Thank you. And here we have a few Carpentry students with us. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Pretty good.
Alrighty. So what are your names and what tech area are you?
I'm Crystal Kislin, and I'm in Carpentry. Darissa Kohler, also Carpentry.
Alrighty. So what is your current grade and how long have you guys been at CCTI?
I'm a senior, and I've been at CCTI for 3 years. Senior since freshman year.
Alrighty. So what is a day like in your tech area?
Well, I'm a half-time student, so typically I come in around 11, change into boots, write down my word of the days, go in the classroom, in the theory room, and see what I have to do. And then once I'm done with that, I get started on whatever work is to be done. I'm full-time. The beginning of the day goes by pretty slow, but after lunch it goes by pretty fast.
What are some common misconceptions about your tech area?
That all the guys do everything.
That carpentry isn't for women.
What current projects are you guys working on?
Well, at the moment I'm actually making walnut tables with a walnut base, a black wrought iron pipe through the center of it, and then a walnut tabletop as well.
I'm building a cat tower.
You're building a cat tower?
A cat tower for the cat shelter down the street.
Oh, okay. What has been your favorite project? What are some notable things you've done this year for external sources as well?
So personally, I made a desk. The base I started freshman year, and I actually finished it this year and made a top out of 2x4s and CNC'd a flag with a deer head on the top of it and epoxied them. That's been my favorites, without a doubt.
My favorite project was a coffee table I made. It had a mountain scenery as the top, and I'd say my favorite one I've made for outside of school is a cutting board.
How do you guys feel about your tech area? What do you enjoy about it?
I enjoy the relationship we have with our teachers and how close we are and how like we can go from being in a tense situation to like joking and laughing about it and just like throwing it like right out the door like it's nothing.
How honest people can be.
All right. Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. And that concludes our latest episode about carpentry. We talked about what imaginary animals we would be, spoke to Mr. Hazelton and a few of his students, and got a sneak peek into what it's like in carpentry. As always, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Tech Talk at CCTI. If you're interested in more Tech Talk at CCTI content, make sure to check out our Instagram, TechTalk at CCTI, TechTalk_ATCCTI. And make sure you click the subscribe button and turn on the notifications to be notified when we upload new episodes. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.